President Donald Trump announced on Saturday his intention to nominate Lindsey Halligan as the next U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. This key federal prosecutor's office is known for handling sensitive, high-profile cases. It was plunged into uncertainty after the abrupt departure of its previous chief. The president's declaration came via a social media post and came just as he was leaving the White House for an event. That timing signaled urgency. The nomination of a close aide to a powerful post immediately drew intense scrutiny. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia is a critical hub of federal law enforcement. Its jurisdiction includes the Pentagon, the Central Intelligence Agency, and government contractors. It's a frequent venue for cases involving national security espionage and public corruption. The office's leader can launch investigations, convene grand juries, and bring federal charges. So, the selection is of significant national importance. Its implications ripple far beyond Virginia and affect federal justice nationwide. The vacancy Lindsey Halligan was nominated to fill was created by the sudden departure of Erik Siebert on Friday. Mr. Siebert's exit was not a quiet retirement. It was the culmination of mounting pressure from the Trump administration. The core of the conflict was a months-long investigation into New York Attorney General Letitia James. The probe centered on allegations of mortgage fraud involving homes she owned in Virginia and Brooklyn. The investigation had failed to produce the criminal charges some in the White House had apparently anticipated. The lack of an indictment became a point of contention, leading directly to the leadership change. Initial reports framed Mr. Siebert's departure as a resignation, but President Trump offered a different account. In a Truth Social post early Saturday morning, the president wrote, "He didn't quit, I fired him." The investigation into Ms. James began in April after the Department of Justice received a criminal referral from Bill Pulte, director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Despite aggressive pursuit by Trump administration officials, there has been no public indication investigators found the incriminating evidence required to secure an indictment. James's attorneys call the probe politically motivated retribution. Lindsey Halligan is a figure who has become increasingly prominent within President Trump's inner circle, particularly on the legal front. Before entering political law, she practiced insurance law in Florida, admitted to the bar in 2014. Her career shifted in 2022 when she joined Trump's legal team. She gained public recognition as one of his attorneys after the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago, placing her at the center of a major legal challenge. She was integrated into the administration's formal structure. She holds the title Special Assistant to the President and Senior Associate Staff Secretary. That dual role, personal lawyer and senior official, highlights the president's trust. Trump, in his social post, called her tough, smart, and loyal attorney. She was a partner at a Fort Lauderdale law firm specializing in residential and commercial insurance claims. That's a stark contrast to typical U.S. attorney nominees, often seasoned federal prosecutors or long-serving DOJ officials. That unconventional path will be a focus in confirmation hearings as senators probe her qualifications. Choosing a lawyer so intertwined with the president to lead an office that investigates his opponents raises questions about future independence. The announcement of Lindsey Halligan's nomination was made amidst a backdrop of considerable confusion. Eastern District of Virginia's United States Attorney's Office, staff reacting to sudden news. Just hours before President Trump's social media post, staff received an internal email from Mary Maggie Cleary. The email said her appointment was unexpected, but she was humbled to be joining their ranks. Employees were left in a state of whiplash, unsure who was actually in charge. There was a sudden appointment of Miss Cleary, then her role appeared to be superseded. Miss Cleary has said she was falsely accused of being at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. The sequence suggested a lack of coordination between the White House and the Department of Justice. This nomination also unfolds within a broader context of President Trump applying public pressure on top law enforcement officials. The president has been urging Attorney General Pam Bondi to accelerate investigations and pursue cases against his political rivals. That campaign for retribution has strained the separation between the executive branch and prosecutorial decision-making. The president's push for speedy action has been a hallmark of his statements, creating pressure on prosecutors to act quickly.
President Trump has made his expectations explicit. We have to act fast, one way or the other.
They're guilty, they're not guilty, we have to act fast. If they are guilty or if they should be charged, they should be charged. Critics view these statements as a direct assault on prosecutorial independence. The nomination of Lindsey Halligan has significant implications for the perception of justice in the United States. The role of a United States attorney requires not only legal skill, but also a commitment to impartial enforcement of the law, free from political influence. When a president nominates a personal lawyer who defended him in politically sensitive matters to oversee investigations into his opponents, it raises questions about fairness. The core question is whether the public can trust decisions based on evidence and statutes, rather than political allegiance or retribution. Letitia James's team has been unequivocal in responding to the investigation and leadership changes. Her lawyers insist on her innocence and call the ordeal a politically motivated witch hunt. They say the months-long probe produced no criminal charges, proving the allegations lacked merit. They warn using DOJ machinery to settle scores erodes public trust and sets a dangerous precedent regardless of party. Legal experts and watchdogs are deeply concerned. Removing a U.S. attorney mid-investigation involving a political rival is seen as breaching long-standing norms. Installing a loyalist is viewed as a direct challenge to independence, potentially chilling other federal prosecutors. The confirmation and tenure of the next U.S. attorney will be a crucial test for the legal system. How these matters are handled will affect public trust in the DOJ and the ideal of equal justice under the law.